First of all, I welcome you all.
This evening, really,
I believe we will experience a very important evening.
if you ask why, it's because in all of our subconscious as Bosnians, who are we? What lineage are we from?
How far back does our lineage go? How far back can we trace it?
I believe we will share an evening where we can find answers to such questions. I also believe we will find answers to these questions in the book written by my dear brother, my teacher, Ayhan.
This book is so important in my opinion. I think all of our families,
People who are curious to research where they came from,
if they look at the systematics of this book, I believe they can also reach their own roots. After such a start, I really got a bit excited because it's an exciting book. At the beginning of the program, as always, to make a greeting speech,
I invite our esteemed President Muhammad Sankektar to the microphone.
Welcome to the 5-hour book promotion in the Suitcase. Now, most of us already know Ayhan Olcay closely. In his field, in the field of medicine, he is also a doctor who is very successful in science. Ayhan Olcay is the only address I go to when I need it. Because totally passionate in his field, but a different side also emerged. It's not just a book written based on hearsay. My brother Mehmet, our brother too, we are together with the association member. With his narration, he went as far as Venice, went to the Ottoman archives, he went back to the 1400s.
And he has brought out this book. Just as he is our pride in his field, he is not just a candidate to be our pride in this area, he is our pride as well. I didn't know I had forgotten. This is the situation we need now. As you know, within the association, we gave scholarships to 712 people this year.
Especially to research Bosnian history, to pursue a master's in Bosnian history, we are looking for young people. Unfortunately, we still can't find them. We are offering them plenty of scholarships. But our teacher, based on volunteerism, has produced such a book. As the president of a community, as the president of the Bosnia Sandžak Association, I thank you.
He brought forth there's something that was needed. I know it will be a beautiful night. I believe it. I wish you success, Professor. We are looking forward to more books.
We also wholeheartedly thank our esteemed president for this meaningful speech. We all know our brothers Ayhan Olcay, but I would still like to briefly introduce your brothers Ayhan to you again. Professor Dr. Ayhan Olcay with the Bosnian surname Shikriel. Until this evening, I knew the surname Shikriel as Shikriel, but I learned from my teacher Ayhan that the correct one is Shikriel. In the 1950s, his father's side came to Turkey from the village of Naboy.
The maternal side, on the other hand, is from the Salkovic family, originating from Turkey, descending from Cleopatra. As he began his academic career, I especially wanted an elementary and middle school. For example, he is attending Shehit Kamu Balkan Elementary School.
So I especially wanted this to be an example of the kind of talents our schools here can produce. He attended Ojan Middle School, he went to Vefa High School, and then graduated from Marmara University Faculty of Medicine in 1998.
In 2004, he completes his cardiology specialization at Istanbul Faculty of Medicine. Subsequently, in 2019, he receives the title of professor. Also, starting from the year 2025, I recently learned about this specifically. Boğaziçi University.
As an academic term, also an HTTM researcher.
Professor Dr. Ayhan Olcay is an academic and entrepreneur known for his innovative inventions in the field of health technologies and his success in patent sales licensing, with a specialty in cardiology.
He is a co-founder of some companies and some R&D companies in Turkey and Hungary. As for his significant achievements and inventions, he won the Best Invention Award from the international jury at the Istanbul International Invention Fair, ISAF 18. He was awarded a gold medal at ISAF 18.
As for other achievements, in 2019 he received the Doctor Club Innovative Internal Sciences Doctor of the Year Award. Such a multifaceted person, especially turning to his roots and such a book.
I would like to thank him again for preparing and presenting it to us, and I want to give the floor back to him.
Being with you today is a privilege for me. First of all, I thank the managers at the association and my brother for the organization and all of you. I thank Mr. Alpay, the publisher owner, the editor, and other friends for their support in the printing of the book. What was my concern in writing this book? Did I write it to look cool or just to say I have a book too? No, my concern was this. You have a sparkle that maybe you can't manage. A very bright place. I feel very special here, like a liberated zone. I came through so much traffic. Each of you has a unique sparkle, and I call this the Manisur light. I call it the Manisur sparkle. That's why I put this picture on the front of the book. These are my parents, yes, but there is a similar picture of your parents too. This is a strange energy that has been coming from the past. I pursued this. What was its story? It was June 1st when I started dealing with these. I looked at it emotionlessly, like writing a patent or developing an idea. What is this sparkle in these people? And we also have a strange faulty state. We don't fit into the environment. What is this faulty state of ours? I mean, is it a personality problem, or are these people from a different world? What is their problem? What is their story? What is their past? What makes these people so bright, high energy, and different? I looked from the outside, honestly. Therefore, I only thank my mom and dad for coming to Turkey and raising us. So it seems like a repayment. But in the book, it says Shkreli. You can put Muriki instead. You can put Milasic instead. You can put Hod instead. You can put Clement instead. You can put Markovic instead. Instead, you can put coaches. Instead, you can put Lissin. You can put Najit. There are no others left.
So Charity, aren't you all a team? There, our tribes and everything lived side by side. Again, we lived in houses like fortresses, like this association building here. 50 people, 70 people or so. Here, it's been the same pattern for 500 years, 600 years.
We are building the same fortresses. We live side by side. Our same sparkle continues. I will pursue that a bit here.
Where did this come from? Actually, all of you are very famous in the world. You are not aware of it. We are not aware of it. Yet, in the world, these tribes, people have been pursuing these tribes. They are after the sparkle you have.
Who are these people? They said in the 1900s, in the 1700s, they kept going and writing about you in northern Albania, writing about us. Actually, we are very famous.
These books only, Kosovo by Noel Malcolm, the English historian, talks about us. Only this has been translated into Turkish. None of the others are in Turkish. Therefore, my starting point is Edith Durham, the English sociologist, with her book Hayalanya, written in 1909.
They say these are wild men. Our people are curious and go to these places in northern Albania where we come from. Edith Durham goes there. Then she becomes a fanatic about them. She becomes someone who writes about them, their sociology, everything, promoting them worldwide. So I started with Edith Durham.
I looked at Robert Elsie. He says Shkreli, he says Muriki. I thought maybe that's us. This time I continued from there.
Noel Malcolm and English work. Well, was there anything different to write? There are such trendy books in the world, famous books. Until today, we haven't written about ourselves. You came, built houses, bought cars, got summer homes, and got caught up in life's struggles. We can only research and write about these, and the true identity. Identity is an important thing. Without identity, we're like a headless thing, like a chicken. Of course, we are primary citizens of the Republic of Turkey. We are all under the constitutional citizenship defined in the constitution of the Republic of Turkey under the Upper Turkish identity. But knowing our roots is important. You can't proudly say this. Later, look at the books. You are all people who have been written about and talked about a lot in the world. And why did so many people pursue this? Chased after this light you see there. It's a very cool thing. You're not aware.
Therefore, you are famous. I wanted to write this with Ottoman archive documents and inside stories. Thus, the entire archive documents, part of the story about the Shkreli or Northern Albanian tribes, is in the Ottoman archives. Until now, no one has included the original documents.
I wanted to publish the original documents. None of the documents published here are in these books.
We call the book a living book. That we need to use this concept more often. When you scan the QR code, they start the stories that circulate, then information about the book or your critiques, all of these can be included. So the book will be a living book. It's not a static thing. We will need to use these more. When you scan the QR code on the front page of the book, you can include all the documents, information, or stories that will develop in the future.
Pictures are important. Again, these family pictures from the archives, you all have them. They were black and white, colorized. Do you notice the sparkle and a strange posture in the pictures? These people have a confident nobility.
In Nabua village of Sandžak in 1947, the poor dressed in their best clothes, standing upright, smiling people. This is the story we are after.
The promise in the suitcase. What did these people have when they came here with a jacket on their back and a few coins? They had this light, this energy. They also had a task set in their minds. No matter where you place them in the world, they do not assimilate, they do not disappear. Somehow they create a new world with this energy. That's why I called it Besa in the suitcase. Besa means a word of honor.
Jans, are we allergic to lies, or is it a lifestyle? Whether you are aware of it or not, you are people of the Besa culture. We have lived under very harsh conditions. It has now become ingrained in us. I called it Bahta's Besa. The book's title is Besa in the Suitcase. Bahta is my grandmother. Well, the women of this culture may not seem very prominent, but they are incredible women. Well, among the Illyrians, there were even queens. In the grave images, they are very stylish with very ornate jewelry. They have a very strong structure. Therefore, our women also manage the family. They manage better, so without noise or fuss, manage the children, manage everyone. This is actually that culture coming from the past.
Bata decides to go to Turkey with her 4 children, without her husband. These are such strong women, so they are people who do what they set their minds to.
The woman is also peculiar. I mean, the woman has a different kind of power. She has a different energy. This is the family's house in Serbia before they came in 1957. Again, the same people.
You are saying in the Sandžak.
The house of the people in Sandžak in Tutin, the house of our fathers. This is the year 1957. Look at the pictures.
In your things, in your albums, you will see similar upright, shining people in their colored form. The same sparkle again. Therefore, these are the stories that you all more or less have experienced, the stories of these Sandžak immigrants.
What we are after is where these people's strength comes from. I was able to find your archives up to the year 1416. As I said, Shkrel, but we were all neighbors. Take the book as a map.
Follow the Murish. Take the book as a map. Follow the Murish.
Take the book as a map. Like, follow the others. Like, I could have written the others, but the book would have been 600 pages. I couldn't handle it. I roughly know where all of you come from. So, yeah, what kind of structure is the family? This sparkle. We pursued it. We will start from 1416, Northern Albania, 1702, Kosovo, 1853, Pester, 1957, Istanbul.
We will wander around here. I could access the Venetian state archives. This can be accessed in the Ottoman archives. But when I talk to most of you,
tried, didn't work, found, went up to a point.
He went to the population registers and could go back about 2 generations. He found it, but couldn't translate the document. Even this is a separate story. Ottoman archives, keep in mind, you can access the catalog at devletarşivleri.gov.tr. All of you can access the archives from here. There are document summaries above with tribe names and other information. I had to make the document summaries myself. Without the archives, the book would not have any value, any documentary value. Therefore, we know our identity more clearly. There are many old stories. Did we come from Bosnia? Where did we come from? But we know exactly where we came from. This is the year 1416 in the Venetian State Archive. The land registry book from the year 1416 is original. There is the Freer Hall. If you go to Venice, there are no online documents. They gave you an appointment for 15 days later. They gave you the original land registry book. This is the original book. You are all here. Your villages, your grandfathers. If you were to pursue this here, what caught my attention there, for example, were the villages, one after another. The head of the family in the village names the tax he paid. I looked at the surrounding villages. Even 600 years later, all the villages are still in the same place today. Therefore, being able to find a 6-century-old story in such a chaos of wars, migrations, and archive burnings in the Balkans is a very elite level of work. Too much. For example, you are large families. The Muris are obliged. You also need to be determined and pursue the same documents to uncover your own family stories from here. This Shkrel village is a municipality today. This is the relevant page from the year 1416.
SH 50, written in Latin. These are also 7 family heads. Therefore,
the Shkreli gave their village name to the place they went. This is the oldest place we can reach in history. The place we started in the year 1416, Vlash Kreli, Gavish Kreli, Vlash Kreli, and so on.
These are the taxes they paid. What we understand from this is that they are settled. Even in the year 1416, they were settled people engaged in livestock and agriculture.
The locals of this place, we are talking about northern Albania, north of Lake Shkodra. This is a very special place. It has something strange. It has a strange history.
It has a strange energy. I know in this mountainous region, they have preserved their cultures and all their traditions. These people have lived with the oldest Dukagin laws in Europe, the oldest oral laws in Europe. The tribes I mentioned earlier, here we are. These are our tribes.
This is Lake Shkodra.
Lake Shkodra, north of Lake Shkodra. So these are the Gruda, Hoti, and now we are neighbors with the Lansel. 56 here, the Shkreli, Selcha here, the Datic. Is there anyone from Datic? Your village is here. You are from Shelmende.
The Murids will be upset with me, but they are considered a sub-branch of the Hots. They specifically didn't include it. Out of respect for history, I didn't manipulate it, so don't be upset. You are under the notes here. If any of you are from Shalishluk, you will come out at the tip of the arrow at Tet at 1,500 meters. I had read a lot of things about what I said, but I didn't understand any of it until I climbed those hills. Like when I climbed Shkreli, I said, like I understood our troubled state. So this is this stubborn, unyielding most of the time. Now I watch you all in the bureaucracy trying to do something like Mr. President and so on, but it doesn't work. I mean, these are different types, problematic types. You can't do it like the others. Mr. President, they are upright people. Those mountain men don't work out. Therefore, our things are here. Our steep life here, this state of taking it steeply. Here you go. These are your tribes. Choose from 77 tribes. It's very interesting. I mean, they have always gone to places one after another. High energy characters.
The places you will roughly wander around, the places we live, are here.
Our stubbornness, our self-confidence, our combativeness, our aggressiveness, this melancholic state of ours is related to the places we live. This is now ingrained in our genes. Lake Shkodra, and the places where our Shkreli lived in the year 1416. We graze sheep here, a view from above.
While walking with the hotel owner, he said, look, your people grazed sheep here in 1416. Neighboring tribe Castrati. The Castratis are still in the same place today. The Shkreli are in the same place, and so are the Castratis. Also, interestingly, we have, like beside his hut's origins, I stayed at the hotel. The owner of the hotel is Shiraz Castrati. His father was said to be an aga from Iran. They heard at the hotel about Razende. That region called Shkrel, a village of 7 people, has now become a municipality. The other has expanded. They heard someone came, was from Shkrel, and was writing a book.
I saw in the morning they were all standing. All of them are Shkreli.
Our cousins from 1416, if we did a DNA analysis, they are probably relatives. They say they hug and stuff. We are very happy to see you, this and that. Go find the Murids, go find the Datits and so on. They will welcome you really. In the morning, they were all up.
Our people from Zagora village are the Shkrele. Therefore, we need to do it this way, just with standard memorization. The children of Fatihan, we came and went from Konya.
This is not it. I mean, we will see these people by accessing the original research documents. Only then can we understand who we are. You can't see who you are until you go up those hills. And also, to compare everything, what were we? What have we become? To see the whole spectrum, visit all of these. This is another Shkre. The village we came from was Zagora. Today, it was interesting to meet all these people there. You can access all of them through QR codes in the book. Therefore, all these videos are accessible. This is our neighbor shepherd, the shepherd of Castrati, hugging and so on. He says, what right do you have? He says, we herded sheep in the same place as your grandfathers. Therefore, these are our original relatives and the places we lived in 1416.
This is the night security, the hotel security guard heard. The Shkrel came from Turkey. He said, wait, let me meet him, hugging and all. You are my brother. This is Gyokochi in northern Albania. This municipality, the Shkrel municipality administrators, they will all welcome you very well. Explore, go to your original villages, visit the municipalities. I guarantee you will be very well received. I can't describe how you will feel. You need to go and see it. This is the original village of our Shkreli. We are from the village of Zagora. How do we know? Part of the village is Catholic, part is Muslim. During the Balkan wars, our relatives and cousins in Kosovo went and lived in their original village for 6 months. Zagora, the village's imam is Ahmedin Doli from Shkrel. He welcomed me with his wife and was happy, hugging. They only know one word, Sakarni Olcha. So if anyone from the Shkreli is curious about their original village and wants to see it, you will go to the village of Zagora in the Shkrel region. You can find Ahmedin Doli there, the village imam. Part of the village is Catholic. Originally in northern Albania, all of you, Camila, are Catholic. Around the 1700s, we become Muslim.
Since we didn't really like this part, we don't really like it with normal rhetoric, so we don't go into these areas much. For example, there was a Shkrel in Sandžak. He didn't like these stories. He says, don't mix those places, Ayhan. Or a familiar elder says, Ayhan.
He says, just write about Kosovo. Don't write about before that. I said, okay, brother, don't you believe it? I mean, aren't these documents? Isn't this us?
I believe, but he says, don't mix it up there. There's an uncomfortable situation like this. The head of this village is Fatmir Selim Shenai.
This is the village mosque. Enver Hoxha tied a tractor chain and brought down the minaret. Today, it's used as a barn. Interesting. I mean, I toured all those places.
The Lost of Dukakjini. I translated it into Turkish myself. There is no Turkish translation.
30% page. We have lived with oral law. The origin of many of our behaviors and customs today is this book. You can find it from the link here. Please read it. You will laugh a lot at what you read there. Not lying, where will the water for the meal come from? How will the village's main road be maintained? Whether you can kill a dog if it is not chained. How will the blood feud mediation be conducted? How many hours is the Besa? Those habits we have today, those faulty behaviors, you will read all about them here.
Therefore, although it is oral and not a Sharia law or Roman law, it is very interesting in the field of oral law. I mean, how have we not read this until now?
Why didn't we translate it into Turkish? While reading those 130 pages, seeing those things there, those practices there, this book was printed in 1500. Lek Dukakjini, one of the Albanian princes.
It tells how we lived, how our grandfathers lived. But our life from hundreds or thousands of years ago was printed in 1500. Probably the lifestyle of the Illyrians was very organized, a military society.
Therefore, you can read it from this link. We all have a sensitivity, don't we? When someone says a child lied to an elder or a wife lied to her husband, we feel strange.
Because it's ingrained in our genes. When someone is told they are lying within the community, it could get you killed. We lived by those laws. Neither the Ottomans nor the Venetians could subdue us. We lived by our own laws. We didn't care about anyone.
When someone is said to have lied in society, if someone says you're lying falsely in the middle of nowhere, they could also kill someone. And there is no penalty. That's the rule. You cannot say to someone that they are lying. We have lived with such strict laws.
What if he is really lying?
I don't know. I mean, you could lose your mind.
Therefore, our strictness comes a bit from these laws we lived under. This allergy to lies is one of the foundations of our character, and we are problematic. We always have issues with the Ottomans. We live in mountainous conditions. We are independent.
The girl translating the documents was from Marash Sibel. She said, "Teacher, I didn't understand these Albanians. Why are you rebelling? You are Muslims too."
She says, "You were living so well with the Ottomans. Stay where you are." Then she says she understood when she translated these documents. It turns out, she says, you were people who wanted to live freely according to your own truths. Therefore, when you enter the Ottoman archive documents, you will constantly find such documents. We are constantly in conflict with the Ottomans because we do not want to sacrifice our freedom. We do not want to pay taxes. We want to live independently. When they try to impose laws on us, we insist on living by our own rules, our own customary law.
1416, we are in northern Albania. These are likely tribes of Illyrian origin. 1702 original Ottoman archive documents. This is the translation. Hudaverdi Pashas in 1690. We are fighting against the Ottomans. We are losing. Then they flee to their wives' villages, to their friends. We remain in exile for 12 years.
The Shkreli, the Kelmendi, probably all of us are Protestant. They stay in their wives' villages for 12 years. After 12 years, he says, we will return. The Sultan also says, okay. He says, they have learned their lesson. He says,
forgive them. Yeah, Hudaverdi Pasha is there. He sends a written order from the center. All right, he says, forgive them. He says, so what will we do? He says, exile them. He says, to 2 places.
He is exiling us to Kosovo. The Kosovo Shkreli are exiling us to Rugova. Our Rugova story begins here. We are in northern Albania in 1416. In 1702, there is this original document, the exile document. Sometimes we go in the Kelmendi package. The Ottomans didn't bother much with those details. They say Kelmendi and others. Probably the Hoti were also here. Probably Lesomadum, Sananun, they were also here. Therefore, to get a bit wiser, in the 1700s, Kosovo is being emptied. Pester is being emptied. The Slavs are leaving from there. He sends us to Rugova. He gives 55% of Rugova to Kelmendi and Shkreli. From this point on, our Kosovo story begins. Since you were all assimilated due to the doctrine of 1844, that's why we say we are Bosniaks. Because we were assimilated, we lost our language and schools, and we don't remember most of these stories. But probably most of you have a Kosovo story. And the 1700s, the place we wandered in Kosovo. This is something we don't quite like. When did we become Muslim? Roughly between 1690 and 1702, we, the Shkreli, became Muslim.
All these tribes are Catholic. Over time, they convert to Islam, Ottoman pressure, or other things. It slowly starts in the 1650s. In the 1670s, it speeds up a bit more. 1683 to 1699, a wave. After 1700, after the document I showed, it speeds up. Generally, it goes like this. The Pasha calls. We have our standard bearers in the tribes. That's the tradition of today's standard bearers. The one who has a say in the tribe. He says, come here. He says, 1, you won't raise pigs. 2, you will come to Friday prayers. 3, you will make your tribe Muslim. Well, what can we do? The power is there.
Slowly, the Muslim agreement begins. Also, our tax decreases from 32 to 28.
Therefore, some of these things happen due to a bit of neighborhood pressure. We actually have a very large network that we are all unaware of. Have you visited our villages in Kosovo? Our Rasim brother here, Rasim Yener, thankfully, they have maintained these connections.
Our village of Shkrel in Rubav, Kosovo, in 1702. There is the village of Koshushan. Just like all of you have villages in Kosovo or in Peshter, there are villages there.
In the thing here, that place is the house where we all lived in a tower shape in 1853. It was demolished in 1853. Those of us who moved to Peshter lived in this house. We have heroes in the family that we are not aware of. Our heroes who fought against Montenegro with the Ottomans, we have made a monument for them. Our cousins gather every year in July in Kosovo, Rumova, just so you know. Others who gather might also be from your own tribe. They might be gathering in Rumova. Our Shkreli gather around the 27th of July almost every year. They come together from all over the world, from Sandžak, from different places, the Shkreli. This year, I also went.
This is the monument to the heroes. Therefore, our story of the Shkrel village after 1702 is here. In the family, our Rasim Yener, here Yasemin Rasim Yener, Shukriye, their grandfather Adem Isufi, is a war hero. They didn't know either. I found a map from the Ottoman archive documents. This map shows this. After the Berlin Agreement in 1858 in Berlin, they were going to give Plavbusinia to the Montenegrins. Thanks to the heroism of Adem Isufi and others in that war, the map changes. So I sent them the map and said, look, hang it in your house, you can show it off. Thanks to your grandfather's heroics, the map changed. Instead of Plavbusinia, they give the other region to Montenegro. So we have stories of heroes who changed the map. We didn't know any of this. These are part of our identity. Our assertiveness, bravado, or such standout traits are actually genetic. We are constantly problematic. In 1709, they keep sending us smart somewhere, but we don't stay quiet. There too, we become a problem for the Sultan again. He says, they're not staying quiet again, send them away, he says. You can see Albanians in many parts of Anatolia.
For example, Abdul Kadir Aksoy is Albanian. Either he went as a soldier or was exiled, something like that.
These original documents, we've never looked at ourselves from this perspective. How interesting. No one wrote about this. We will write it. It seems there's no other choice. Therefore, this defiance of ours, we are always present in the archives as troublemakers. In 1853, blood feuds are very popular. Many of us do not have our original surnames. The reason is that we constantly relocate due to blood feuds. Either we are fleeing or moving to another place.
At one time, the death rate among men is 19%. 19% of men kill each other in blood feuds. Strange.
The Illyrians lived like this due to this honor of hundreds of years. A blood feud culture developed. The first ancestor of our Shkreli is Zuko.
In 1853, Zuko moves from Rugova to Peshter due to a blood feud. Zuko is a crazy character. All the characters are interesting. Zuko, when he's about to die, says, my grave is here. No, he says, bury me, he says, on the hill to a place called Chafa.
They bury him on the hill. What will you do when you're buried on the hill? He says, let me see Rugova, where I came from after I die.
They bury Zuko. He dies in 1868. So while writing the book, I asked
Where is Zuko's grave? No one knows. He says it's somewhere on a hill. Can we do this? This is our number one. Let's find the man. One of the elders remembers and says, I used to go with my grandfather.
Their source, he says, there's a stone. We'll find it. They go, they find it. After that, we as a family collected money, honored Zuko. This is currently...
it's also on Google Maps. Put your ancestors on Google Maps. You can easily enter that information yourself on Google Maps. Therefore, Zuko Shkreli is famous worldwide now. That crazy story is very interesting. His free spirit and defiance are something to be admired. We are frugal due to our pastoral life. We have a lot of generosity, our hospitality. Look, no one here paid a single penny. We all have water in front of us. Everywhere is beautifully heated, for example, with hospitality. This has become genetic for us. Because we are at the border, we have a culture of honor and hospitality. We don't go back on our word. We lose our minds. No, I mean, whatever is said, that's it. Because we are multicultural, we have adaptability. That's why we are successful here. Even in this mud, there are bright people. All of our family structures were preserved. Our home, our car, and our educated people are a great success story. The origins, due to our genetic memory from the past, we have adaptability. We are accustomed to multiculturalism. Even in a completely foreign culture, we can build a great success story. Because of our migration and trauma, everyone slightly remembers something. Our memories are very deep. And we are a bit melancholic, you know, we have a somewhat sorrowful state. Therefore, this is the character of the average fives. Hey, our women also know an incredible amount. Each knows a herb. They know something about treatment. It's like this. It was like this with the Illyrians too. This has been passed down through women.
The animal is also interesting. Let me give you an example. This is Zekan. This is Naboya village.
The animal and the person are both interesting. Zekan was our family's horse. It was black and white. I colored it. Zekan was also wild. It would follow when it heard music. It would break its tether. In the end, they got tired of it. You know, they can't keep him in the barn. Whenever there's music somewhere, Zekan escapes. He breaks his tether and goes after the wedding. In the end, they sold Zekan. The one on top is our uncle Hasim. And this is my aunt. My aunt is also crazy. Even if it was in place, it would dance when it heard music, even in Turkey at these ages. Therefore, a strange high energy. These pictures are with all of you. Characters armed to the teeth, constantly alarmed. 1, 2, these clean faces. 3, upright figures, this noble, warrior-like, of course, in their own way. These are the Malisor letters. Our uncles in Sandjak, I colored them. Their powers, this Indo-European Ukraine, part of Ukraine, and from the Caucasus. The culture about it is widespread. Teacher, by the way, can we talk a little about the Malisors? Malisor region, Malisor, the region in northern Albania. The region is called Malaysia. The name Malaysia means big mountain. The Malisor comes from there. Therefore, there is something called Malisor beauty. You carry it in your men and women. Malisor beauty, Malisorsi also. Malisorsi, of course, expresses something beautiful. They call it Malisorasi, yes. The reason is there is no kinship. It has never been in our history. 1. 2, the strongest one has survived. 3, tribal flags are not achieved through favoritism or manipulation. The most dictatorial, the strongest, the one with the highest leadership qualities becomes the tribal flag. Also, at one time in the Ottoman army, in the Ottoman Empire, only Albanian was spoken in the Divanu Humayun Palace. Why? This society produces leaders. The tribal system can produce very strict leaders. Lekia, 49 terms of Grand Viziers were Albanians, 26 terms were Bosnians. The place we live has seeped into our genes. Harsh climate, harsh people. There is oral law. We have been living like this for thousands of years. We can always produce a leader through struggle. I didn't name someone from the family. We looked at the genetics. Our genetics are very interesting. We traveled places, looked at archive documents. We also said, let's look at the genetics. Someone got curious and had their genetics checked. These haplotypes, meaning they come from the father's side. It doesn't matter who the mother is. The Y chromosome is the gene coming from the father. I didn't name someone from us. The gene of one of us.
The result that came out in the gene is this.
This haplotypo, there is a concept called Anatolian farmer. The formation of the region we are in, the last ice age, 15,000 years ago, there were local people in that region 15,000 years ago.
50% of the population comes from Anatolia. People who left Anatolia 10,000 years ago. That's what the genetics showed. Anatolian farmer. What we call the Anatolian farmer is not the structure of today.
10,000 years ago, it took its origin from these people. Therefore, when we say we're from Konya, we always say we're from Konya to please.
Really, 10,000 years, we were really from Konya, yes. 20% of the population, 20% are survivors from that ice age in Europe.
50% after Africa, this farming society in Anatolia moves there. Approximately 20% is the last Indo-European layer coming from Ukraine, Russia, Kazakhstan. So you can say we came from Konya, so we don't feel foreign here.
And it's not a lie, but it's Konya from 10,000 years ago, not the new Konya that the Ottomans talked about conquering.
Our folks were foresighted. They got something right.
Anatolian Neolithic farmers. The Anatolian farming community. You know those names you hear about? Göbekli Tepe and so on? Yes, we are the people of Göbekli Tepe. I wasn't even aware. Looking at these, we are the people who went from Göbekli Tepe to there. Very interesting. Approximately there, Dalmatia, Albania, about 50% of today's Albanian population's DNA is from Göbekli Tepe. Çatalhöyük, by the way, Çatalhöyük is in Konya. That's correct. So we went there from places like Çatalhöyük. Around 8,000 years ago, before Christ, there was a significant migration because they practiced agriculture here and had surplus wheat. They learned mining, they learned how to make pottery. The Balkans are easy. We gradually moved to the Balkans. Interesting. Our genetics say this.
Today's Balkans, genetic layers, the tribes of northern Albania or Albanians are the least exposed to Slavic migration. Anatolian farmer makes up 50 to 60% of the population. Hunter-gatherer, meaning this is the part after the Ice Age.
The population coming from the steppes, that is from Ukraine, Russia, Kazakhstan, is 15 to 20%. Then it comes from the Slavs. After the 6th century, the Slavic proportion is high among Serbs, high among Bosniaks, and lowest among Albanians and Kosovars. Therefore, those least affected by the Slavs are you.
We have the least Slav DNA.
This is the map we are looking at. The place we call Illyria is roughly here. Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia, Herzegovina.
It goes as far as the municipality.
It starts here from the 3rd century BC. Then it comes under Roman rule.
It goes up to the year 400 AD. Then they never used writing. The Romans described the Illyrians poorly because they were rivals. The Greeks described them, and that's how we know. Therefore, we know that the names of places there in Anatolia or the words we use are a continuation of that culture. The Ottomans never imposed Sharia law on us. We don't accept it. They created a special civil law system for us. They said, let your tribal leaders gather whatever you want. My Pasha will approve it. Yes. So, therefore, with arbitration or other systems, we are inventing a system as we see fit. Even the mighty Ottoman says, damn it, I can't handle them. It says, I am bringing a civil legal system for them. Whatever their standard bearers, those chiefs in the tribal leaders say, the Pasha should do that. These are Ottoman arbitrators. Original documents between those tribes. You will find these in the book. You will find very interesting documents. And sometimes they give us money. They say, let's warm them up, they say. So they don't cause us trouble. He gives them tasks, gives them something else. He sent us 1,000 lira in 1897. He says, let's not cause trouble. There are troublemakers among the tribes. This is again a picture from 1972. Again, a military order. These are ants. You see that? If you notice, everyone is spotless. These pictures are all standard. That caught my attention. There is military order. Discipline. The women are strong again. The women of the families are strong. Sparkling.
the Republic of Turkey is a great opportunity. When we travel around northern Albania, Kosovo or Sandjak, it's the best place we've developed so far. This Albanian identity, despite losing our language, the Republic of Turkey has been a great opportunity for us. Therefore, constitutionally, we have no problem with the Turkish supra identity. We felt at home here.
That's why we talk about these things, but being of Albanian origin does not in any way open up for debate that we are essential citizens of the Republic of Turkey, a founding element or our overarching identity. Neither you nor we have experienced any issues here, apart from the challenges of this place. And when we compare Kosovo, Peshter, or Albania, after traveling around all of them and putting a photo, when we place them side by side, we are the ones in a good situation. Academically, financially, in terms of worldview, in terms of connections, the place where we are most successful is the Republic of Turkey. Therefore, this should not be underestimated. This is our identity, yes, but this is where we are most equipped and have developed the best.
We assimilated, we forgot our identities, we don't know the language, we don't even know our history. You know, in our minds there was something like our grandfather knows Albanian, maybe we could be Albanian, but this much on the surface.
But some of us continue. Those who insist on being Albanian or other identities, our family structure continues. This is our image at this iftar.
I want to end with this now. You may have many questions or contributions. These may have reminded you of different things. Otherwise, I see that you all listened carefully. Therefore, these stories,
the things that linger in your ears have caught you from somewhere. There is more. You will find more documents, stories, and writings in the book. I want to end with this. I invite everyone who holds a pen, carries words in memory, and captures light with a lens to add another stone to this brick. I dare to do this. It's a difficult task. They say out loud, "Why are you stirring things up? We had left it nicely alone."
Where did you come up with this Northern Albania thing, the Albania thing, the Illyria thing? There's nothing I can do. I followed your light. I pursued the truth.
I am not a historian. I know my limits. I am very comfortable because I use documents.
Everything is documented there. So please interpret it yourself.
Big families, unfortunately, you all have a duty. You need to extract the same copy from the copy of all the places I visited in the book, Our Family Histories, Koçlar.
I thank you all. It is a great privilege to be here with you for maintaining all your success, brilliance, energy, and unity up to today. For me too, I can manage these. I looked at this with a cool mind. I can access all these documents. This is our identity for Sandjak, valid for Sandjak, Tosin Sandjak Arshi.
Let me tell you something funny. While making Zuko's grave, there is a family group of 40 people. I send these documents to them. We say from northern Albania.
Our surname became Zukovic with them. Then it became Hačić. They really liked the Hačić part. It has a bit of a religious aspect.
Hačić this, Hačić that. I send the documents. I say that Albanian god or something. Oh no, one of them says.
I mean, they were going to kick me out of the group like I was going to get beaten. Therefore, we can talk about these things very freely in the Republic of Turkey. We can laugh like this, but don't say these things in Sandjak. You might get beaten. Your cousins and such, you might get kicked out of the group. Dangerous things for Sandjak. Therefore, even this shows how much the Republic of Turkey provides us with a free environment, access to all this information, the ability to hold these meetings here, to speak freely. It gives us the opportunity. A small example. I thank you all. If anyone has contributions or questions, they can answer.
I am from Duže. I am in Sakarya, in the region where we live. There are many Balkan immigrants. In fact, I don't know, maybe it hasn't been reflected to you, but Circassians are actually a very close society and they don't have much contact with the outside. Let me give a simpler example. They are very conservative when it comes to marriage. we have mostly made this transfer with Balkan immigrants outside our own community. So we have such a tradition. Now, of course, we never questioned it. Why is there such a tradition? Why are we only in such a traffic with people of Balkan origin within ourselves? When I read the book, I realized that none of these are coincidences. Because, for example, the concept of Dağlı, we talked about this before. The concept of being Dağlı, as Ayhan Olcay also mentioned, is actually a very significant concept. It perhaps represents, not entirely, but a significant part of the idea of standing tall and not bowing down. In fact, the concept of Dağlı is a word mostly used by Slavic peoples, especially the Russians. In the definitions in the Balkan geography, the term mountaineer is used for those of Balkan origin. For Circassians, the Russians have especially used this term a lot. From the Russian perspective, as Ayhan Olcay said, it means uncontrollable. From their perspective, uncontrollable, and they are people who are thought to be incomprehensible. But it was a very nice presentation. I have many friends. I already know, I am familiar with the culture, and truly all the definitions in this presentation I have seen and experienced with everyone. You know, it's not really right to do something like this for a culture. Saying it's good or bad is not very accurate either. However, there are cultural codes. That way of life is inevitably reflected somewhere in life. I don't think it's a coincidence that I'm working with you on the book. I mean, some things in life really cannot be defined numerically. Sometimes emotions or certain accumulations brought by the past reflect on life. I'm glad this book was published by our publishing house. I'm glad our path included such an important work. I must also say this. I am also trying to take part somewhere within that sociological structure in my own society. We are also doing some work. I must say, after seeing Ayhan Olcay's work, I realized how inadequate we are in many areas. It is a very serious, a very academic study. You mentioned systematic. This is very important. A systematic study. This is a very valuable issue. I got to know him a little as a person. I know he's a very good person. However, this professionalism is, in my opinion, a great opportunity for you. What can we say? I hope there are more people like Mr. Ayhan among the Circassian community. Thank you very much.
I want to say something. There is a very vibrant community here, a very dynamic community. As Mr. Ayhan said, there is an enlightened community. This is also a characteristic of the Balkans and Romania. Wherever it may go, the effort it may be, for example, regardless of the date of migration from Bulgaria, a family becomes so hardworking that if they do not own a house within 24 months, that is 2 years, earlier migrants find it strange. We are members of a group that takes care of the country to this extent. However, since Mr. Ayhan started this work, I have tried to be very close to him. He also tried to be close to me. We discuss topics almost once a week. We have other programs, our projects too. They might come up in time, but first, until we have a break. Moreover, there is another work by Mr. Ayhan and our mentioned team. I recommend you read it. It is at least as important as these. Since we are from Romania and the Balkans, what are our values? A study was conducted on this subject and it is currently published on ResearchGate or RCD, which are among the few scientific academic publications disseminated worldwide. I anticipate that other studies will continue. I want to end with a joke. You must have heard from me. A document I came across from the time of Fatih. Fatih, you know, when he came to Bosnia, well, because there was a very troubled religious problem there, he issued a decree. 14 articles. But now the edict I will mention will be a different declaration. The essence of this edict is this: do not oppress these Bosnians. Their religion will be respected, they will not be oppressed, their religious places will live and continue. Truly, the power of the Ottoman is alive and continues. Secondly, Sultan Mehmed the Conqueror issues another decree with over 10 articles. Especially Bosnia and Herzegovina, Kosovo, Albania. In that area, as these were gradually conquered, it is actually published for Bosnia. But the others are told that you are doing trade, you are on the trade routes. Therefore, I am not taking taxes from you, and I will not take any. I am recommending a special administration for you. Indeed, Mr. Ayhan also specifically mentioned this special administration. That special administration is this: you choose your own personnel, have a leader at your head, and that leader will be responsible to me, he says, disciplining them. The last thing I want to say is this: while I was doing my own research, as you know, I am a professor of mathematics and statistics.
But I did a study on a topic I was curious about. 32 million, as you all know.
Our minimum number was 28 in 2020. 5 years have passed and I haven't updated it. This is the number reached by people coming from Romania and the Balkans in Turkey. We call this the expected negative value. If something extra is expected, this is it. But again, if it started with Fatih, my final word is this. Let me tell it like a story about Fatih Sultan Mehmet. He calls his viziers and says, we conquered Istanbul in 1453. This event happens in 1457 or 58. There is also a document for this. Now it says bring 10,000 Albanians here. Although some documents, historians write it as 20,000, but bring 10,000 Albanians. And the Grand Vizier says place 5,000 in one place, settle them there, and place 5,000 in another place. However, this causes something. While this is being discussed in the entire council, the other viziers say, why did he distribute them? Of course, Fatih is observing this. After observing, he gives instruction to the vizier, the Grand Vizier. You will say, he says, if you put them side by side, they will devour each other. Do you know how many Albanian villages there are in Istanbul? Thank you.